So you see lots of players on the tour being able to shallow the club, and you see people who generally cut the ball a little bit or slice it as a club golfer struggle with what we're going to call lead arm adduction. So what is this lead arm adduction first of all? Well, technically what it is the left arm going across the chest here, and what you want that to do is you want that to get tighter. I don't mean really tight, but you want it to tighten a little bit, because this influences how the club will shallow, but what else it's going to influence is the speed and the distance you're going to be able to get. So there's a bit here to do with a guy called Kev Duffy, and he's a performance guy who works in the fitness area, and he came up with this really cool idea of how this golf swing's set into 3 phases, and I think it's really, really good, particularly when we're talking about this lead arm adduction bit. So you've got a stretch phase and then a counter rotation phase. So stretch phase simply is winding the body up so you coil to the top. Now, when we're talking about a counter rotation phase, what we're talking about is that from the diaphragm and below, you're starting to move towards the target. So that starts to unwind, but the upper rib cage here, just call it the shoulders for us to make it right nice and easy, the left arm will tighten against it. And what this does is you can see the club slightly sets a little bit more, and that's where the power is going to start to come from. You feel a bit of extra stretch into your lat muscle, and this is that separation. So it's not the X factor separation where it was always hips and then shoulders like this. It's the entire torso from the diaphragm down. Because the problem with the X factor is it gets a lot of people stuck, and unless you've got incredible flexibility, it can lead to injury in the lower back. Never a great thing. So when we see that left arm adducting, what it's actually doing is, as we've got it to the top here and we start to see that lower body going, you see how the left arm gets tighter and the club naturally can shallow a little bit. So you're not trying to actively drop the arms down, it's just happening as the rib cage is starting to rotate back towards the target, but the upper part of the rib cage, where the shoulders are, is staying just still for a moment, which is going to let that club shallow in. Now, a great drill to be able to feel this is get hold of the club in the left hand with the right hand on the edge of the glove. Taking this to that top of the backswing here, and what I'm going to do now is feel that my right hand resist the left as I feel that lower body and that midsection moving. So I can feel how that's dropping the club and shallowing it, and then how that'll get that speed on the way through. So I'm going to do that now, do have a rehearsal. So this is how I would build learning this into your practice. You can do things like this at home with resistance bands, and you can get some really nice feelings for that by having a resistance band up at the top and rotating and using the band to hold the arms still. But here's how I would do it here. So we go to the top, lower body starting down, feel that lead arm adducting, setting up now, ready to try and create exactly the same feeling. So getting that feeling of the separation in the golf swing. I actually didn't keep the arms up there for quite as long there because I actually pulled that. So the ball flight gave me the idea that my arms must have been a little bit quick. I felt like I tried to separate, but I clearly didn't on that one there. So let's give it another go. Let's see if we can exaggerate the feeling. This is how you want to practice when you're trying to make swing changes. If you're trying to learn a new element of the swing, you want to try and relate ball flight back to the feeling that you're working on. Therefore, you can start to see what the changes are going to be like. So at the top here, there's that feeling of the shallowing as the lower body's changing direction. And now try and get exactly the same feeling. So the lower body definitely got out of the way better there, and I felt that club shallowing. So I was able to simulate the feeling there and be able to put that into the motion. So that was absolutely massive that you're able to make those changes. This is how you'll layer the feelings into the body, which will translate themselves into swing changes. Now guys, if this is something you've enjoyed, okay, first thing, jump over and have a look at Mark Bull on Instagram, because he's got some amazing bits on anatomy, and this is where you'll find out some of the ideas on how you can separate. If it's something you'd like to see more of from me, comment below. What else would you like to find out about the golf swing that can help you get more consistency, more power, and hopefully more enjoyment from your game? As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I'll speak with you again really soon.